and welcome to Little Learners. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a document that you really need if you are an early years practitioner. Before we get started, don't forget to click that like button if you do find this video helpful at any point, and click the subscribe button so that you can join the Little Learners family. So, as we know, there have been a lot of changes happening for the Early Years Foundation Stage framework. In fact, we have a new framework which becomes statutory from this September 2021, with some schools already taking it on early for the 20 to 21 year. With this new framework, there has also been a new Development Matters document. This is a non-statutory document that up until now, lots of practitioners have been using, myself included. I find it so helpful. However, this time the Development Matters document was produced solely by the DfE rather than with early education. This meant that it was very different, and I have a whole video all about that here. Gone was the guidance for certain age groups. It's a lot more broad, a lot more vague. So, where do we get this information that we are now missing? Thankfully, the Early Years Coalition has answered our question. They have created the document Birth to 5 Matters. And trust me, you will want it. After seeing what the DfE produced for Development Matters, we all needed this document to be produced. Now remember, the original Development Matters document and the new one that the DfE have created are non-statutory documents. You do not have to use them. This Birth to 5 Matters document is also non-statutory, so you don't have to use it. You can use both of them, of course, but I think you will see that this one is very helpful. This document is really detailed. I think there are about 125 pages in it, as opposed to the 77 pages in the DfE document. Now, of course, quantity over quality is not something that we want, but fortunately in this Birth to 5 Matters document, we have quantity and quality. Birth to 5 Matters supports the new early learning goals. However, the terminology is slightly different in some areas. Here you can see the comparison between what you can find in the EYFS early learning goals and in the Birth to 5 Matters document. So for example, in PSED, the early learning goals and the areas of learning are self-regulation, managing self and building relationships. In the Birth to 5 Matters document, areas that support the new PSED are characteristics of effective learning, listening and attention, understanding emotions, sense of self, health and self-care, and making relationships. In Understanding the World, the new EYFS has the areas past and present, people, culture and communities, the natural world, and no ELG for technology. In the Birth to 5 Matters document, we have people and communities, the world, and technology, so much like the old Development Matters document. However, these all go towards supporting the early learning goals. Of course, I can do more of a deep dive into this document if you would like me to, so do let me know in the comments below if that's something you would like to see. This document has areas such as a unique child, positive relationships, enabling environments, and learning and development. This includes information about observation, assessment and planning, and the characteristics of effective learning. We then move on to part of the document that looks a lot like the old Development Matters document that we all know and love. However, when we get to this part, there has been a slight change in the way that we talk about age bands. In the old Development Matters document, we had specific age bands that were clearly written out. In the new Development Matters that the DfE has produced, the age bands are a lot wider, a lot broader, covering birth to 3 years old, 3 to 4 years old, and reception children. In the new Birth to 5 Matters document, these age bands have been broken down a lot more, which I think is really helpful for practitioners, especially who work in lower early years, so that birth to 3. So much happens during that time, and a child who is 6 months old is not going to be doing the same as a child who is 2 years and 6 months old. So it can be really helpful to have all of this in more detail. In the Birth to 5 Matters document, we have ranges of age, but there is a handy page to explain what age bands roughly each range refers to. So for example, range 1, birth to 6 months, and then an overlap to range 2, 6 to 12 months, moving on then to 12 to 18 months in range 2. Now, of course, there are some differences between the Birth to 5 Matters document and the New Development Matters document in terms of the areas discussed. For example, technology being in the Birth to 5 Matters document but not actually being an ELG. So I'd be really interested to know your thoughts on this approach. It has been made by the Early Years Coalition, which includes all of these organisations, so that is a lot of knowledge being used for this document. Now again, I think it's very important to remember that this, as well as the Development Matters document, are non-statutory documents. You do not have to use either of them, or you can use one of them and not the other. You can use both of them in conjunction with each other, which I think probably is what a lot of practitioners are going to do. I think one of the really big issues with the New Development Matters document that the DfE have produced is that it just doesn't provide us with the detail that the original Development Matters document did, and it doesn't focus enough on those really early years, birth to 3. This is unfortunately a trend we see a lot in early years, with reception children being at the forefront and early learning goals being the main thing that the government and other organisations might work on and talk about. But obviously those really early years are crucial to get to that stage. So as I said, if you want a real deep dive into this Birth to 5 Matters document like I've done with other documents in the past, let me know in the comments below. I would be more than happy to do that, talk a bit more about the differences between this and the Development Matters document and really go through every part of this document. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I am really keen to know what you think. Is this something you think you will be using? Is it something you think you'll use over the Development Matters document? Or do you think you'll use them together? Or none at all? If you are an early adopter school, do you think that having this document would have been helpful to you this year? I just really want to know your thoughts, so please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, as it really helps out the channel, and click that subscribe button and the bell so you never miss a future video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.